a kind ghost and a rude one. The house I would consider to be my childhood home is the one where I lived from age 3 to 20. There are so many stories I could tell from living in that house, but today, I'll focus on two. One happened when I was about 7, and the other happened when I was around 13. When I was 7, I shared a room with my younger sister. We had a bunk bed and I was on the top bunk. We slept with our door open because both of us were scared of the dark and the lamp in the hall was always on. Now I've always been a pretty light sleeper. If someone were walking down the hall, I'd wake up. This particular night, I was sleeping with my back to the room. I remember being scared awake because I felt someone rub my back and pull the blanket up over my shoulders. I thought it was odd because I hadn't woken up to my parents waking down the hall to my room. I brushed it off, kept my back to the room, and went back to sleep. The next morning, I asked my younger sister if Mom or Dad came into the room last night, and she said she didn't hear anyone. So being the curious child I am, I asked both my parents if they came into my room at any point last night. They told me they hadn't because they were feeling under the weather, and went to bed not long after my sister and I laid down. So after my investigation, I've decided that there was a ghost in the house that was watching after my sister and I. I may have woken up afraid because I was caught off guard, but I felt an overwhelming sense of peace immediately after the fear subsided. Maybe that's why I didn't bother turning around that night. Now my experience at 13 is very different. I had graduated to having my own room and was no longer in a bunk. I slept with my door closed and a bit heavier now. Still pretty light, but I didn't wake up every time someone opened a door in the house. It was around 2 a.m. and I woke up because I had to pee very bad. I get up and walk to the door but hesitate with opening it. There was a sense of dread at what might be on the other side. Eventually, my bladder won that fight and I open the door slowly. I peek out and don't see anything, so I run to the bathroom. After I was finished, the same dreaded feeling happened when I went to open the bathroom door. Again, I peeked out to see nothing and made a run for my room. I make it to my room and immediately jump under the blankets. The ghosts can't see you if you're under the covers, everyone knows this. I settle down after being panicked for a bit and roll over onto my stomach with my head facing the wall. I'm on the verge of sleeping when I felt something smack the absolute crap out of my lower back. Of course, my immediate reaction was to jump up and turn around to yell at my sister. She had gotten into the habit of pranking me by now. I turn and don't see anyone there. So I get out of bed and check around to make sure she wasn't hiding anywhere. Once I check the room and see she's not anywhere in it, I get very scared. I run to the door and fling it open. I go into my sister's room and sure enough, she's passed out in her bed. I decide that I'm sleeping in her room because I was just slapped in mine. Once I told her what happened, she rolls her eyes, but lets me in bed with her. I didn't experience anything else that night, but it was scary enough remember it, even years later. I'm not sure if the same ghost is involved with both stories. I never experienced the tucking in again, but had plenty of times being scared. I wonder if we did something to piss off the ghost and it went from being kind to being threatening. Maybe there were two different ghosts and the scary one became the dominant one. I really can't say.